G'day guys, my name is Caleb, otherwise known as the Critic Kebab. Welcome to my review where I share my spoiler-free thoughts first, give my verdict, and then discuss the spoilers that stood out to me. In this movie, a Marvel legend will rise, and his name is Shang-Chi. And this is his story and the legend of the Ten Rings. This is the origin story for the obscure Marvel Comics hero Shang-Chi, and this live-action adaptation tells the story of Shang-Chi, aka Sean, played by Simu. Sean is an Asian American who is a car valet with his longtime friend, Katie, played by Awkwafina. The pair are cruising through life, even though neither of them have figured out what their purpose in life actually is yet. But when Sean's father, played by Leung, confronts his son, Sean is forced to address his past in order to fulfill his destiny by his father's side. This movie is directed by Destin Cretton, and I'm not familiar with this man's previous work, but damn does this guy know how to pull off an action sequence. My biggest praise for this film is the action sequences. The dynamic camera movement creates a visceral and exciting feeling. The hand-to-hand combat choreography is so elegant, it's beautiful to watch, in both the more intense moments and in the intimate moments. The action is fierce and entertaining, and it is by far the best action choreography we have seen in the MCU since Captain America: The Winter Soldier. You can tell there is a deep care taken with this aspect of the film, as many moments pay homage to the iconic Jackie Chan and many great Asian movies such as Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Now, longtime MCU fans will recognize this symbol as the Ten Rings organization. And finally, after 13 years, we have finally met the boss man. That man is the father of Shang-Chi, and most know him by the name of the Mandarin. I feel this element of the story was one of the stronger elements. There is a rift between father and son, and I feel the antagonist's motivation is strong and carries the narrative weight and payoffs quite well. Another surprise positive for me was the character of Leung. I found immense enjoyment in her storyline and the struggles she went through throughout her life, such as being neglected and that sense of abandonment. It all made sense as to why she is now the way she is in present day. As for the acting in this film, I would say it was all satisfactory. There are no standout performances in my opinion. I think everyone does a fine job. I think Simu has set a solid foundation for his character, and I am excited to see how he performs the character moving forward, because he had plenty of great moments. He is definitely very likable. I know Awkwafina is a polarizing actress, as some people like her and some don't. In this movie, she plays the comedic relief and is a vessel for the audience, so that stuff can be explained to us. She's a fine character, and like I said, I think the performances were all fine. Now, as of recording this video, I am still unconvinced by how great the story actually is. I had heard a lot of early buzz surrounding this movie, praising how good it was, and to me, I wasn't as captivated as I could have been. My stance on it, without spoilers of course, is I feel the narrative lacks dramatic tension in the key moments. There is a great family drama at the core of this story, and within this family, not everyone shares the same purpose, and that causes conflict in a superhero way that we've come to expect. I'm not saying it was bad. I think it's good, but there's just something missing, especially between father and son. I think the rivalry and intensity of their relationship could have been way better. Instead, it just feels safe and predictable in a typical Marvel superhero way. Now, my biggest problem with the film is the inclusion of Katie in the narrative at a certain point. The first act of the movie, she has a very relevant presence, and I really enjoyed that. But then there is a moment when she is brought with Sean and Ling in a helicopter to the Ten Rings organization. And to me, it just felt very forced that she was here with us in that part of the story. To me, it was very obvious from a screenwriting perspective why she had to tag along, as she is that audience vessel type character. And they try really hard to keep her relevant towards the end and give her things to do during the battle sequences, but it just felt very Lois Lane. Not damsel in distress, just we need this character, but there's nothing for them to do. So let's force this. That was my only real criticism of the storytelling. Now, there are also plenty of bad visual effect shots and a ton of green screen, and that was very disappointing to see. And I don't know if that has anything to do with being filmed during COVID and not being able to go out and shoot on location around the world as easily. So you're forced to shoot in a soundstage. I don't know. But it is obvious and it is bad. If I had to put all my thoughts of this movie into one succinct concluding statement, it would be this. Shang-Chi is yet another really fun Marvel movie that is worth checking out, as the action scenes are super entertaining and unique. The story pushes forward these new characters in a way that is exciting and promising, and the family drama is what drives this movie forward and keeps it engaging. My only problem was I walked away underwhelmed. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings is a good movie worth checking out if you're a fan of action or fantasy movies. Solid foundation for this hero, his powers, and his story moving forward. There is a lot of buzz claiming this movie will have a big cultural impact for the Asian community, similar to what Black Panther did for the Black community. And I certainly hope that this is the case, and that people can go and see this movie and have a good time. These were just my thoughts and feelings on this movie. I'd love to hear yours down in the comments below. Now, those who have seen this movie, stick around, as I'm going to talk about the spoilers that stood out to me. So this is your spoiler warning. If you have not yet seen this movie, you have been warned. For the rest of us, let's get straight into it. For those of you who have seen the 2014 short film All Hail the King, you would know that Trevor Slattery, portrayed by Ben Kingsley, was kidnapped and taken to see the real Mandarin. This movie revealed that not only is he still alive, but he is being kept almost like a jester in the basement. It was cool seeing this character return after his appearance in Iron Man 3. He is his typical comedic self, being that typical washed up actor who's slightly crazy. Whilst it was cool that he showed up, I don't feel it was necessary to bring him along on the adventure with Shang-Chi. He does have some really funny moments, but again, I don't feel his pivotal inclusion was necessary, especially because at that point, you then have two comedic relief characters fighting for screen time. Another moment I want to address, and it relates to characterization, is the moment when Shang-Chi claims to Katie he is going to kill his father. As this is the first time we are getting to know this character, I feel this scene was very important to establishing what kind of hero Shang-Chi is. When he revealed he was going to kill his father, I was surprised. This was a brutal scene and illustrates that he is willing to make that decisive decision. Whilst I enjoyed this scene, I do still feel like we don't have a full, well-rounded grasp of what kind of hero Shang-Chi is. And I am curious to see how fans react to him, and if he does become as beloved as iconic heroes such as Steve Rogers or someone like Matt Murdock. Now, of course, a lot of people will be talking about the post-credit scenes and what they mean for the future. But what I found really interesting was where this movie fits within the MCU timeline. I didn't make this realization until after the movie, but when it says present day, it means now, here in 2021. And if we remember, Avengers Endgame takes place 5 years after Infinity War, which was in 2018, making Endgame 2023. They address the blip, both Wong and Carol Danvers have the longer hair, and we see Mark Ruffalo as Bruce Banner, not Professor Hulk. So this interaction between Shang-Chi and these major characters was exciting. But to me, it was more intriguing than it was exciting. They address that the Ten Rings are not of Earth, have some sort of unrecognizable traits to even someone as smart as Bruce Banner, and the rings are also sending a transmission of some kind. All of this is obvious setup for the sequel, but I think it is also the answer as to why Shang-Chi didn't appear during the Battle of Endgame, because he was busy dealing with the rings. Anyway, like mentioned earlier in the review, I think the foundation for Shang-Chi is set, and I am excited to see where this character goes next and what Simu does with him, because I'm really liking the potential that has been established. That's it. Those are my thoughts on Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, the latest MCU movie to hit theaters, and boy do we love watching a Marvel movie on the big screen. If you are new to the channel, make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on any of my future content, especially videos like this. Make sure to like and comment, and I'll catch you in another video.